Hello, LOUVE.
How you doing, man?
Welcome to Graham Radio. I'm really happy that we're finally doing this.
Yes, I am too. It's been a long time coming. Super excited.
Yeah, we met, around like when I was doing Playhouse?
Yes, yeah.
So that must have been March. This is being recorded July, but we've been kept in contact, which has been cool.
We have been. And I actually just did a little private rooftop party that you attended the other day. So I hope you enjoyed that, man.
That was wonderful. Oh, sorry. Oops. We're good. Okay, it's still recording. Here, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
All good, all good.
Goodbye. That wasn't just a rooftop party. That was an Embered pregame.
It was.
And it also wasn't just like, someone's apartment. Well, I guess it ended up being someone's apartment, which is fine. But like It was what? Did you rent that space in your apartment building?
No, that's actually my homie DJ Wicked.
Yeah.
That's his place. And that's just the opening for a rooftop. You can just, as long as you live there, you can just use that space.
Wait. Okay, so DJ Wicked is here. Hi, DJ Wicked. Hi. So that where we had that, like on that roof, on that big balcony area, was that your apartment?
That's my area that I can use anytime.
Okay, yeah, but you don't live in that little apartment, right?
No.
Or you don't live in like that area.
In that rooftop?
Yeah.
No, because my bed's downstairs.
Yeah, you're right. Like, can anyone kind of use that rooftop area?
Not necessarily.
Really?
First off, you gotta know the property people.
Okay.
And also, secondarily, even live there.
Okay.
Beyond that, talking to a few members, but you can also rent out a separate area.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay. I'm gonna edit some of that out because I want the podcast to start with like about you.
Yeah.
But here let me bring it back. Yeah, that rooftop party was awesome, and it was also a pregame for Embered.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you had a lot of fun, man.
That was super fun. So, how'd you get into all this?
Oh gosh, to start off with music.
Yeah, like with me, like where are you from?
I was born in Newark, New Jersey, East Orange. I grew up my childhood in Illinois, Springfield, Illinois. Abraham Lincoln, The Simpsons, a small town called Chatham. It's really enclosed farming community of like 500 people.
Wow.
Generations of people grew up in this area. So I've graduated with 486 kids, knew every single one of them. So it was real small town shit. But I started with music. My mother, both of my moms actually listened to New Jersey dub, Jersey house, Chicago dub, Detroit dub, and that's just what I've been listening to my whole life growing up. Seeing my mom cook food and you just hearing houses in the background jamming hard. So that's just really what got me inspired into listening to that genre of music.
Did they have CDs or did they have vinyls?
CDs.
They had CDs.
Yeah,
Okay.
CDs.
Do you remember any of the artists that they were listening to?
Oh man, off the top of my head, not right now, but I could definitely, if I had my phone, sit there and go through it. But yeah, that's definitely what started.
So house has always been like a big part of you.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes, for sure.
So when did you start developing your own like for it?
So I would say it's always so funny you talk about this rooftop party we threw growing up. Like I'm an only child. My parents I was always a kid I played ice hockey and football, lacrosse in high school, but I was always throwing parties and stuff like that. So I was the kid who always had to, the cool playlist, all the songs everybody liked. I was always DJing at parties. So it was something that I feel like just been in my blood, honestly. I've just always kind of been doing it. And I moved to Chicago in 2014 to pursue a passion and love for DJing. My godfather owns a club called Brando Speakeasy, and he was the one who gave me my first opportunity in DJing. And he and this guy named Ron Carroll were the guys who taught me how to DJ out in Chicago, and that's when I really...
When was this?
This was in 2014.
In 2014?
Yes.
So what were they teaching you to DJ on?
CDJs, as well as a DDJ of 400.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so and what kind of music were you playing out there? Was it Chicago house?
Yeah, Chicago house.
So it was. So you've never been the type of DJ to DJ at like a one of those like top 40 bars. That's not what it sounds like.
No.
Like
not at all.
you didn't. It sounds like you had a pretty non-traditional entrance, albeit organic entrance into DJing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these guys showing you Chicago house. What kind of club was it?
Club Allure, King of Cups.
So it was a few different clubs.
Yeah, a few different clubs. Yeah.
So how long were you in Chicago DJing in Chicago clubs?
3 years, 2014 to 2016, and then I moved back to Springfield to help my mom because she was a little sick.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and then I ended up moving out of Springfield to Tampa, Florida in 2018 because I was just, ready to get away from the cold and just wanted to start new.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been living here since 2018.
Yep.
Now, something really cool about you is that you produce.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
When we met, or at least one of the first times that we met was actually at my event Playhouse, and you played, I think, a 15-minute set, which I still haven't edited. Sorry, we can get into that.
Yeah.
And it was all originals, wasn't it?
Yep. All originals. I have about 2 hours worth of original music that's actually out for the public on all streaming platforms.
Where can people find you? Where can people find you on streaming platforms?
Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal,
Yeah.
YouTube, all that.
So when it comes to production, who taught you how to produce?
So myself, my godfather Dino, I spoke upon earlier, as well as YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell
Then a couple buddies here and there when I would go to like friends' houses and we'll all just like sit there and produce together.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me more about Dino.
Dino Volpetta. So Dino's my godfather. I was Brando's his son, my best friend. I grew up with him in Chicago, and it's so funny because Brando was the only like Italian kid in my elementary school, and I was the only black kid in my elementary school, and our elementary school was full of like, it was interesting, just full of like a different race. So we just naturally clicked, and then from that point moving forward, we just became really close, And
Yeah.
his
So
family
how did house music come into it?
Here's how. His family taught me how to play hockey, and then whenever we would travel, we would always be listening to house music because Dino used to be a male dancer when he lived in Canada when he played junior pro hockey. So when he opened the clubs, and the clubs that he taught me how to DJ at, they were primarily EDM house-based clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he taught you how to or sorry, he showed you house. So you had house music coming from all sides.
All sides, yeah. So like being at the young age I was, 14, 15 years old, 13, even then I say a club kid, I was always just sitting in the club in the background in the manager's office, me and Brando just hanging out, like looking at the cameras or hanging out behind a DJ booth. I was 2014, before I really started DJing, I was a karaoke host at Brando Speakeasy, which is a cocktail lounge in downtown Chicago. So I kind of got my little taste of music there as well.
Any relation to the Brando that you were friends with?
Yep. The club is actually named after him. Brando's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dino is your godfather.
Yep.
Who owns multiple clubs in Chicago?
Yep.
Wow. So you moved out there when you must have been what, like 18, 19?
Yep.
Yeah, so you moved out to Chicago after graduating high school, and you were able to DJ Chicago house music all over the area because you had that connect.
Yeah. And due to him, he was the one who really got me onto the scene and really showed me what music was like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your production, when did you start producing?
I started producing. Well, I've always messed with it. So the first time I started producing was in 2015. Was the first time I touched a DAW, touched software, Logic. And then I really started taking it seriously 2017, 2018 is when I really started putting hours into my production, watching videos, just doing my due diligence, learning everything I can about production.
So what advice would you give to someone who is just getting started in a DAW?
It's hard and it's challenging, but just don't give up.
Yeah.
Just keep working. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And definitely talk to your peers about production.
Do you have any YouTubers who you can always rely on for good music? or for good tutorials?
Actually, no, I don't. I'm the type of I get caught in a YouTube YouTube hole, and I just dive deep, and I'll just be going through all sorts of YouTubers, but I don't have anyone specifically. But I have people in my head who have got me to the next level through production. You know what I'm saying? So me personally has more been face-to-face value with people that has increased my production versus YouTube. But YouTube has helped though.
So you have a lot of great productions out right now. You have a lot of great originals out right now. If you could go back to 2015 and give yourself some advice, what would that be?
Don't be afraid to try new things. Honestly. Because back then I was so nervous of not being comfortable with creating that kind of music because of what it may have, just may have seen, it's like, oh, he's a black guy, he should be doing, rap music, something like that. So I was always a little nervous of producing that kind of music, and it took me a while to understand, where that music truly came from. And once I realized that, my brain just took off from there.
The house is mostly white and Spanish dudes.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
It is.
It kind of is.
It is.
If you think about it.
We have a couple. We had a couple legends. Like Black Coffee.
How about Idris Elba?
Yeah, Carl Cox. So.
Yeah. Carrie Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Carl Cox. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but see, like growing at 18.
And then you have like every single white guy who ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's an interesting piece of advice. That's not something that I thought you were gonna say, because like regardless of what type of music you're producing, you're still producing music, and that's super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess as like an 18, 19-year-old a black guy, like learning how to use a DAW, it's like, oh, like were you concerned? Were you like nervous about? Were you concerned of how people were gonna react when you weren't producing the music that everyone like believes that you're supposed to produce?
It's so funny you said, because my manager even knows for the longest he still oh man, it still happens to this day. Like people will literally look at us and be like oh, I'm a music producer. Oh, so you're a rapper? And I produce house music. What house music? Well, what's house music first of all? Or EDM music. So I still get that to this day as a 28-year-old artist, musician, so it just got to the point where I understood how
what's the reaction. What was the reaction then, and what's the reaction now?
Confusion, not really understanding why that was happening.
Right.
Now I love it because it makes me feel unique. It makes me feel like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be fucking doing, man. Like I couldn't be in a better position, and I couldn't be happier with what I'm doing. And if I can get to a level to where I can inspire people that look like me to want to do stuff like that, then by all means, man, let's fucking get it going, because nothing should stop you from doing whatever you want to do, you just got to do it. Yeah. No matter what people say, no matter how they look at you, no matter how they talk about you or feel about you, if that's what you love and you want to do it, do it.
You got to follow your passion, man. Yeah. Like you got to be realistic, but you also need to follow your passion and take risks.
Of course.
Yeah. What's the biggest risk that you've ever taken in your following your music passion?
Honestly, putting all of my time and energy into music and trying to make this my full-time job without having another job, another source of income, that was been a big risk, and I've gained things and I've lost things through that, so I'd definitely say,
yeah. A big message that I try to put across to the world with Graham Radio is, if you are going to have a music passion, you also need to have a career.
Yeah, that's facts.
I'm a big believer in that. With that being said, I'm also absolutely taken aback, and I respect those who do not do that. Those who sacrifice so much to follow their passion to make this a career.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, it's very, very cool and very, very commendable. It's risky, but you know what? You got to risk it for the fucking biscuit.
You do, you know.
Yeah, you got to risk it for the
If
biscuit.
you really want it to be your life, that's what you got to do, you know.
Yeah, well, no, though.
But
Be-
no,
be-
but no, at the
because-
same time, no,
yeah,
you're
at the
right,
same time,
you know?
no, because I think that people have really bad relationships with time. And I've said
I
this on the
agree with
podcast. I've said this on the podcast hundreds of times. But if you were to lock it in right now with a full-time job and only having limited amounts of time to produce music, if you lock it in right now and for the next 5 years, all you did was work and produce music and not release music, just grow your catalog. After 5 years, you would be a phenomenal producer and artist, and you would be able to get booked at much bigger places such as Space, even Amnesia, or Printworks, I guess when Printworks comes back. Like, just having the great music is going to be able to give you those huge opportunities. But with that being said, what are you doing during those 5 years? Are you going to be homeless? Like, no.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
also, everything is risky. You can never put all your eggs in one basket. That is, I'm a big believer in that. Like, I'm pretty conservative in how I treat like money and how I treat moving forward and goals and your life. So I think, you know, I'm willing to risk not being the biggest DJ in the world as long as I can continue turning on and off my lights without needing to ask my parents for money. You know, like I think that's extremely important. But with that being said,
Yeah.
being able to say, I'm going to do music full time, I am down to take the risk, that is so commendable, and it's cool. It is awesome and it's impressive. You know? It's a little too risky though for me. I'm gonna keep working.
No, man, you know, life's all about risks, you know.
It is. It really is. Yeah. How long have you been going for?
We're at 20.
We're at 20? Okay. Well, I usually end these around like 25-ish minutes. So let's talk about Tampa.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Like, you know, you've been in this area for how long?
5 years.
Yeah. What have you seen change, and like, what do you like? What don't you like?
Gosh. What do I like? What I don't like? I mean, to be honest, it's crazy. It's crazy because I actually living in Tampa from 2018 until now, moving to St. Pete. I actually like St. Pete a lot more.
St. Pete's awesome.
Yeah, I like St. Pete a lot more. I just feel like St. Pete's more. I completely switched the question, so I apologize. But yeah,
No, you're good.
St.
You're
Pete's
good.
way more of a vibe to me, to be honest. It's like the artsy scene and the people, just the way of life out there. Just
Have you been to
seems
Saigon
more-
Blonde? Have you been to Saigon Blonde?
Yes, I have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would love to DJ there.
Yeah, that'd be a cool place.
That would be such a cool place to
yeah,
DJ.
I think so as well.
Yeah, because that place knows good house.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like I've been in there and they've been playing like super obscure, like really really cool music.
Yeah.
I've also been in there and they've played like "Losing It" by Fisher, which is
Yeah.
fun. It's a fun song. Come
Yeah.
on, that's a fun song. But like, nothing. And I'm not saying anything bad about Saigon Blonde. But Saigon Blonde's awesome. Go there. I'm a big fan. But like, if I was going there, I would throw it down.
Fuck yes.
I feel like that's what every single DJ must say.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be confident in yourself. You know, you
Yeah.
definitely gotta be confident. You know, that's one. I feel like that's one part of the game right there. Is believing in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't believe in yourself, then I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Graham.
This has been great. I think that you have a DJ set to spin.
Yes, I do.
You ready?
Yes, sir. We're
All
gonna
right.
Go crazy.
This has been LOUVE on the Graham Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Peace.